Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from Forever Conscious, and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of October 21st. We have some intense energy this week, and it's mostly due to the full moon that we have on the 24th in the sign of Taurus. This is a bit of a stormy full moon. It has a lot of sort of intense energy around it, but I don't want you to fear, I don't want you to freak out. Whenever we have stormy weather, right, we have to think that eventually the storm passes, doesn't last forever, and when it does, when we look outside, the sun is shining brighter, there might be a rainbow, the grass is looking lush and green, nature kind of pops its head out, the animals kind of come out, and we have this beautiful image of that calm after the storm. So I want you to remember that and hold that in your consciousness this week, that we do have some beautiful energy on the way. We just have to first make it through this stormy patch that is going to be triggering around the time of the full moon. So what can you expect? What can we do to sort of center and balance ourselves? So the energy of the full moon is really going to highlight and heighten the Venus retrograde lessons. So Venus, as I've mentioned before, is really touching on matters of the heart. And so the heart rules over so many things, right? There are so many things that our heart touches. So Venus's domain is wide and big and covers so many areas, but you may have noticed issues in your relationships, issues with your connections with others, issues with just the relationship that you have with your own life, or the feelings that you have about your own life. And also a big piece of Venus retrograde, as I've mentioned before, is self-love. Where am I not loving myself enough? Where am I not putting those boundaries in place? And those areas are all going to be highlighted and amplified by this full moon. So the core of the lesson, the core of that Venus work is going to be amplified by that by this Taurus full moon. This full moon is also Taurus is the planet associated with the Earth. So this full moon could bring about shifts for Earth. Now, these shifts are things that we're not going to notice straight away, but this could bring about a big turning point for the state of the Earth, the state of the planet. So really big and important is just, how we treat the planet, how we treat Mother Earth, and actually a way that we can sort of stabilize and harmonize ourselves around this full moon is spending time in nature. Nature is just going to be particularly healing around the full moon time. So getting out in nature, taking a deep breath, centering and balancing yourself, grounding yourself, earthing yourself are all wonderful ways to kind of stay in your calm around this full moon. The next significant event happening this week happens on the 26th. This is the rebirth of Venus. So Venus is still in retrograde. It's going to be still in retro till November 16th. But have a read. I have an article on foreverconscious.com about the rebirth of Venus and what that means. We're heading into the heart of Venus retrograde lessons with this full moon. It's going to be amplified. And then the rebirth comes. On the 26th, by the end of this week, we're going to be feeling so much lighter. We're going to feel that turning point. We're going to feel, whatever's needed to have been broken away from your life. The severing would have happened, and you'll be starting to feel a little bit more at ease. So by the end of the week, we do start to feel a little bit more calm. We do start to feel a little bit more grounded. We start to feel a greater sense of where we are heading and what we need to do. So I want to leave you with this for this week. And I think because we have all this Venus energy going on, we've got this, intense energy full moon, be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself in the first part of the week. But as we get to the end of the week, start thinking about what you want this new chapter to look like for you. We're undergoing the rebirth of Venus. This only happens every 19 months. So where do you want to take your heart? Where do you want to lead your heart? Do you want to be more open in your heart? Do you need to put more boundaries in place? Do you want to welcome in more compassion or understanding? Or do you want to welcome in more self-love? Whatever it is, think about what energy. So if we think of the rebirth of Venus as the rebirth of our hearts, what what does this new chapter look like for you? What heartfelt messages or feelings do you want to bring into your life? This Venus retrograde, we can really look at it like the death and rebirth of Venus. She's ending a cycle and she's starting a new one. So just in the same way, we can start thinking about the new cycle that we want to take in matters of our heart and in matters of relationships and in matters of self-love. So think about, let things unfold, let things transpire with the full moon, and then by the end of the week, just start very slowly thinking about what this rebirth of your heart and your relationships and your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others might look like or feel like. So I hope that is helpful. Again, just staying calm and balanced, being out in nature, and then thinking about, hey, this is a new chapter, this is a new cycle. There's a fresh new beginning coming, and even though Venus is still in retrograde, we're going to feel that turning point. It'll be a welcome turning point too by the end of the week. So I hope that was helpful. You can always find more information on foreverconscious.com. I have lots of articles on Venus retrograde, full moon, plus a full moon ritual, so check it out. I'm Tanaz. Thank you so much for joining me.